Okay, folks, it is Matthew, and we are back, and we're now going to start Case 2 of the World Edition. Thanks to these three for helping me out: Philo, Paulo, Roberto, and Catherine. Off with their hands. Or off with their heads, excuse me. Sheriff Matthew, you'll recall the ancient manuscript DuPont told us went up to auction in France. By the way, if you guys know, in case you guys didn't know, I made my way up to Sheriff just yesterday. So now, after so many months of being commissioner, you can call me Sheriff now. Correct, Matthew. It's the same manuscript we believe was used to write a threat to Enid Grimshaw in London. The very same. We've heard that the editor-in-chief of the magazine Pretty Fair, Annette Samour, placed the highest bid. She's booked the Hall of Mirrors at Versailles for a photo shoot and has the manuscript with her. Word is, she won't let it out of her sight. We need Archer here at headquarters, so you'll be going with Carmen Martinez. Martinez is an investigative journalist who won the Pulitzer Prize for bringing down a major terrorist network in Yemen. You've probably heard of her. Maybe. She's one tough cookie, and she's not known for her patience, but her smarts make up for her brusque personality most of the time. You and Martinez are expected at the castle in Versailles, so there will be no need for introductions once you arrive. Please have a glass of Burgundy for me. Sure, Chief, but I'm not a drinker. So you're the famous Sheriff Matthew. I'm used to working alone, but let's giddy up and you can show me what you've got. Matthew, this Annette Samour better not waste our time. I don't care if she is some big-time magazine editor doing some fancy-pants photo shoot. People say she's a real handful, the queen of mean. Well, she better tell us what we need to know about the manuscript she bought so we can move forward with this investigation. Where the heck is she? Maybe we can poke around the Hall of Mirrors and find the dang manuscript ourselves. Oh boy, that is gruesome. Darn it. "16th now. Are you kidding me? We come here to grill our main lead about this manuscript and she got her head chopped off? This is insane. The guillotine must have been part of the photo shoot. We'll have to figure out who got to Annette Samour. We'll get her back in 2 pieces to Angela. You didn't find the manuscript anywhere? What did you find? A faded card? You think the killer left a signature or something? I'm sure you'll uncover the information we need. What's this Antiques Roadshow crap? I mean, that wooden box is pretty and all, but I don't see how it's relevant. Fine, dig through it, Matthew. Maybe you'll find the manuscript. Look, I know I may seem blunt, but I just don't like wasting time. You of all people must understand that, Matthew. We better get to the bottom of this murder quickly. We've got way bigger fish to fry. And I'm gonna grab a bunch of stars, so I'll be right back. Okay, I got a few stars. Let's get cracking on this business card now. Coup de grace. This business card you found at the crime scene says coup de grace and Grace Good, photographer. She must be the photographer who was working this photo shoot. So the victim had organized a photo shoot, and it looks like Grace Good was the photographer. So was Grace also the victim's executioner? We better go grill this Grace Good about her photo shoot and fast. About the victim's photo shoot? What do you want? I will not be selling any photos taken of Miss Samur to the tabloids if you're some of those nasty vultures. Definitely not vultures, Miss Good. We're with the Bureau, and we're here to investigate the murder of Annette Samur. Oh, the Bureau is on this case? Good. Annette would have wanted the creme de la creme. That's why she asked me to do the shoot, because I am the best. Except I had to go and walk out to the gardens for some fresh air. When I came back, her head was in the basket. Uh-oh. Sorry guys, there was a bit of a problem here. Annette launched me. She made my whole career possible. You have no idea what it was like to find her like that. I was in too much shock to know what to do. Only 2 hours before, I was picking her up at the Amélie B boutique in Montmartre, and now she's gone. You said she was at Amélie B? I guess you better get over to that boutique, huh, Matthew? Stick around, Miss Good. We may need to ask you some follow-up questions. Sorry, guys. My internet tab must have had went unresponsive and then had to be recovered. So it looks like we have to investigate the boutique. What a pain. But what can you do? Torn cardboard, sandwich, pigeon, guitar, champagne bottle. Do I see the spinning top anywhere? Oh, there it is. Well, it's hidden behind that sign when it came in when I found the champagne. The photographer, Grace Good, said that she picked up the victim at the boutique before heading to Versailles for the photo shoot. Was there anything at all that could help us? I got another card, 10 of spades. You found a champagne bottle near the Amélie B boutique? How do you know it doesn't just belong to the cafe? Oh, I see. The tag says, for Annette. The label says 1945 milestone. Does that mean it's extra fancy champagne? And there's some kind of serial number? Let's see if we can decipher it, Matthew. This other stuff you found near the boutique looks like torn cardboard. You want to piece it together? If you think it will get us to the killer quicker, why not? First of all, I'm going to investigate the antique chest first. I think for now I better start investigating the second thing first. BNA and... oh no. 89E. Just in time. Whew! You deciphered the whole serial number from that champagne bottle, right? I bet young Mr. Elliot can tell us more about who gave this bottle to the victim. Let's get it to him. Oh, I must have gone with the champagne bottle first, but that's okay though. Not like it matters. Now let's get to the chest. Got it. Camera. What did you find in that box, Matthew? That digital instant camera doesn't fit with that Marie Antoinette stuff at all. Looks like someone was trying to hide it. That's pretty suspicious. let's get this camera to little Elliot and see what he can make of it. "6 hours, alright. Torn cardboard now. To Annette, one hell of a woman, wow. So you pieced the cardboard you found near the boutique back together, huh? What have we got? It's a cutout of some lady. Do you recognize her? Because I sure don't. Wait, there's a message. To Annette, one hell of a woman. And it's signed by... Your guess is as good as mine. The signature's totally illegible. I've heard that you are top-notch when it comes to comparing facial features in a database, Matthew. Maybe you can figure out who this is. It's gotta be Annette Seymour. At least the person on there, judging by the message anyway. Hopefully this was enough. I didn't think to get any more stars. But we'll see. Oh. Oh boy. Oh no, it's Jacqueline Proust. Jacqueline Proust. So our mystery cardboard cutout is Jacqueline Proust, huh? Am I supposed to know her? Huh. I'm rather impressed that you don't know her, Miss Martinez. You show more taste and intellectual capacity than I imagined. Thanks. So you know who this is, DuPont? To my chagrin, yes. Jacqueline Proust is a pathetic excuse for a fiction author, but unlike the great Marcel Proust, her talent appears to, how should I say it, the mass market? Okay, then looks like we need to track this Jacqueline Proust down and ask her about the autograph she signed for the victim. I'm gonna have to get a star, so I'll be back. Okay, I got a couple stars. Now let's talk to Jacqueline Proust. Miss Proust, right? I was wondering if you had a minute. I only do autographs and my literary agent forces me to. Sorry. Did your literary agent force you to autograph a cardboard cutout of yourself for Annette Seymour? No, that was a gift. She was an inspiration to creative women everywhere. Granted, maybe not as much of an inspiration as I am, but still. I wanted to let her know how much I appreciated her work. We women have to have each other's backs, you know. Just the backs or the heads, too. Annette Seymour was decapitated today, Miss Proust. Miss Proust? No, that's awful. And she had just bought that manuscript at auction, too. Do you think the manuscript could be part of the murder? I bet it is. Excuse me, I need to grab my writing notebook. Inspiration strikes. I'll let these three run their courses. So for now, this is Matthew. See you then. Okay, folks, it is Matthew, and we are back. The camera just finished, so let's get the results. Matthew, I have some interesting news for you about that digital instant camera you found at Versailles. Well, interesting is a subjective term. If it gets us closer to Annette Seymour's killer, we're all ears, kiddo. Kiddo? Okay, one photo was taken, printed, then deleted from the camera's hard drive around the time of the murder. So the killer clearly touched his camera, maybe to capture a parting trophy. I couldn't lift prints, but the killer did leave evidence of an addiction behind. Loose tobacco leaves. So we know that the killer smokes. Great, we need to find one smoker in France. That should take about 10 years. We better get started, huh, Matthew? Well, that's clue number one. I'll let these two run their courses, and I'll see you for them. Morning, everyone. It's Matthew. We're back, and I'm now going to get the results of the victim's body. Bonjour, Matthew. This is an interesting end for the so-called Queen of Mean, and it was a pretty clear-cut autopsy. The guillotine blade that decapitated the victim had been sharpened recently. Fun fact, did you know that a beheading by guillotine takes only 2/100ths of a second? No, that's fascinating. Still, the murder weapon was definitely the guillotine. Absolutely. Her head was severed between the vertebrae C1 and C2, the atlas and the axis that helped nod and rotate the head. When I swabbed the cut, I found something really strange though. There was diacetyl, which is found in butter flavoring isovaleric acid, which smells like old gym socks, and Penicillium camemberti, a bacteria only found in the rinds of camembert cheese. So you think someone used the guillotine to cut, pardon the expression, the cheese? The more logical explanation is that the person who checked the sharpness of the guillotine blade transferred some of the camembert they were eating to it. And then that cheese wound up in the victim's neck. So the killer eats camembert. Looks like we have our work cut out for us, Matthew, so to speak. Yes, we do. And the champagne label. Well, Matthew, the champagne bottle you brought me is full of pretty special stuff, if you're into luxury. Yawn. It's from Domaine Tafreze. 1945 was dubbed an exceptional year, or Milstein, for the vineyard. That's some old champagne. Any idea who gave it to the victim, little man? Little man? Seriously? Well, since the champagne is so exceptional, it isn't sold to just anyone. The serial number showed that the bottle was purchased by Princess Sophia of Girona. She's been in Paris since Fashion Week, which is only too predictable, and she's staying at the Royal Manchot Hotel, equally predictable. I guess it's time to talk to Her Most Predictable Highness, Princess Sophia of Girona. She can tell us why she offers such a fancy gift to the victim. About the champagne she gave. So, Princess Sophia Girona. Just plain Sophia, please. No need to be so formal just because I'm wearing my tiara. Okay, Sophia, can you tell us about the bottle of champagne you offered to Annette Samour? We're putting together a timeline of events leading up to her murder. Her murder? Annette Samour was killed? I just saw her this morning. I offered her the champagne as a thank you gift. She had decided to put me on the cover of her magazine, Pretty Fair. Finally, someone recognized my superior fashion sense and wanted to share it with the world. Annette had so much class. She was royalty too, in her way, and now she's dead. We're sorry, but you better plan to extend your stay in Paris, Sophia. We may need to ask you more questions about Miss Samour. So far, everybody seems pretty sweet on Annette Samour, yet someone chopped off her head. Did you dig Jacqueline Proust? I understand wanting to strike while the iron is hot, but she treated Miss Samour's death like a writing prompt. Princess Sophia, just plain Sophia, seemed genuinely upset about the victim. Besides, could she even figure out how to use a guillotine? And Grace Good was really upset, but she was right there on the crime scene, and she didn't call the cops. That's just wrong. Sorry, I had to get this. What's up, Ingrid? Matthew, I got news for your timeline reconstruction. We determined where Annette Samour was last night. We'll get to Chapter 2 after this. Hey folks, it is Matthew and we are back. Let's get the results. Let's go to Chapter 2, excuse me. People seem to like Annette Samour, but someone did chop off her head. Sorry, I had to get this. What's up, Ingrid? Matthew, I got news for your timeline reconstruction. We determined where Annette Samour was last night. The Louvre. Paris Museum. I sure remembered that the victim bought the manuscript that could tell us more about the ancient order behind Prince Albert's murder in London. Yeah, we were looking for that dang manuscript when we found her body at Versailles. Exactly, but the manuscript was incomplete, so she went to the Louvre to demand the missing sections. Maybe this murder has something to do with that manuscript after all. Witnesses say that there was an altercation in the gardens near the museum. but they couldn't understand what it was about. You'd better go investigate. Well, Matthew, looks like we need to take a trip to the Louvre Gardens. The fight Annette Samour had there might have been an appetizer to her murder. Let's investigate the gardens. Okay. Annette Samour. I think that's Archibald Gilchrist. That faded article. Watermelon luggage. Marcel Lemaime. Instant photo. 4 seconds. That was great. th place already. So what treasures were the Louvre Gardens hiding, Matthew? A piece of newspaper. You think this old guy has something to do with this investigation? Let's retrieve the headline then. It looks like someone lost their luggage at the park. The tag says Marcel Lemaime. A mime? You really think a mime's belongings might help us solve Annette's murder? Well, you'll have to look through it then. I'm not touching it. That piece of paper you found has blood all over it. And there's a message. Len first says to Annette Samour. Don't know what that means, but it mentions the victim. You're right. The most important thing is to get a sample of that blood, Matthew. Let's step on it. I'm gonna get a few stars. I'll be right back. Okay, I got all the stars in the crime scene that I just unlocked. So let's get to the luggage. A wig and sunglasses. So did you find anything interesting in that mime's luggage from the Louvre Gardens, Matthew? A wig with sunglasses attached? This wig looks really familiar. Where have we seen them before? You're right, this wig looks just like Annette Samour's hair. So what was Marcel Lemaime doing with a wig that looks like the victim's hair? I guess you better go ask him. Marcel Robin. Thought it's Annette Samour wig. Man, I hate mimes. Look, pal, why did you have this wig and sunglasses costume? They make you look a lot like Annette Samour, who was just murdered. Unless you really are a mute, you better knock this crap off right now. We don't have time for this nonsense. Whoa, settle down. Look, I was performing right here by the Louvre and that lady came up to me and kicked me, unprovoked. Then she laughed. If I saw you impersonating me, I'd probably be pretty tempted to kick you too. I started making fun of her after she kicked me. That's how I deal with bad stuff. I put it in my show, turn it into laughter. Well, if you did anything more to Miss Samour than use her for material, you won't be laughing for long. Bloody note now. There we are. You got a sample of the blood from the note you found at the Louvre Gardens? Alright, let's get it to Lars. You know, considering I have all this energy, I might be doing one case in Elite mode in Pacific Bay, but I'm still not quite sure. Just got the 9. So that old man on that bit of newspaper he found near the Louvre is named Constantin Perrier. Don't know him. I don't know French, but the article mentions Versailles. Maybe he was involved in the victim's photo shoot. I'm with you, Matthew. We better have a chat with this Constantin Perrier. Let's go. About his connection to the victim. Mr. Perrier, I'm sure you're aware that a murder was perpetrated here today. Yes, I learned during the cheese course in my lunch, a lovely camembert, and I was aware of the photo shoot, of course. I authorized the photo shoot because Annette Samour was a high-profile personality. We can't let just anyone use the castle as they wish. I am not even allowed to smoke inside anymore. Of course, now Versailles will get entirely the wrong sort of publicity, but one cannot control everything, as Louis the 16th discovered to his dismay. Louis the 16th is an interesting example, Mr. Perrier, considering that Annette Samour was beheaded. The king also lived in Versailles, so my choice in words hardly makes me a suspect. If you have no further questions, may I? Don't go far, Mr. Perrier. We may need to ask you some follow-up questions. Okay, so for now, I'll leave it at here. So I'll just let the blood run its course. So for now, this is Matthew. See you then. Alright guys, it is Matthew and we are back. Let's get the results of the blood as we continue with Chapter 2 in the World Edition, Off with Their Heads. Matthew, I have the results for the blood sample you collected from that note. But first you ought to check out my band's last rehearsal. No, Lars, we just want the information. We don't have time to listen to your hobby. Oh, come on, man. We're a serious band. You're working with a future inductee at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and you don't even know it. Fine, whatever. The blood in question belonged to Annette Samour, point for point. This means that the killer wrote the note after the murder. Great, but we still need to know what the heck it says. Well, if you will permit an old man to interrupt, I can tell you that your killer knows their Sartre. Jean-Paul Sartre. Sartre who? Jean-Paul Sartre, my dear, the French philosopher who coined the term existentialism. Well, your killer paraphrased his famous line, L'enfer c'est les autres, or hell is other people. In this case, the message said, L'enfer c'est Annette Samour. Hell is Annette Samour. The logic checks out. So the killer is a fan of French philosophy, huh? Well, they better get ready for some angst with Matthew on their tail. Matthew, have you seen the latest political polls in France? The far right are getting rather too popular for my taste. The far right? Like extremists? Some of them may be, I dare say, the politics of intolerance and fear draw all types of unsavory characters. But I doubt the far right in France had anything to do with the beheading of Annette Samour. Best let you get back to solving that murder. I can't shake the feeling that there's something more to the place where the victim was earlier this morning, and we still haven't found that manuscript. Great minds think alike, Matthew. Let's head back over to the Amélie B boutique and see what we can find. adhesive note, shoes, pigeon, oh, clothes on sale, reservation sign, and Theta coffee cup with Annette's name on the top. $17th. Okay. So did you pick up any more clues near the boutique? You want to dig through a stand of fancy clothes? Well, make it snappy. I don't want to waste any time. You also found a pretty coffee cup, and the victim's name is on it. Looks like something is written below the logo on it. Get your duster ready. Let's examine the faded coffee cup first. Looks like I got extra energy. You're nothing without your amazing grace. So what was written on the cup from the cafe table, Matthew? The message says, Annette, you're nothing without your amazing grace. Amazing grace? Grace Good thinks she's pretty amazing. Think they might be one and the same? And didn't Miss Good mention picking up the victim here before the photo shoot? Picking her up, getting her coffee? I thought Miss Good was a photographer, not Annette Simur's personal assistant. Let's get a little more precision from Grace Good about what went down between her and Annette this morning. About her message to the victim. So, Miss Good, we found Annette Simur's coffee cup with your message to her. It's interesting. We thought you were a photographer, not her personal assistant. Of course I didn't mention it. It's embarrassing. That woman abused her power, treated me like she owned me. I was a private chauffeur, her lackey. She even told me when I could smoke. When I told her I was going to leave Pretty Fair and strike out on my own, she threatened to blacklist me in the publishing world. The stress has been rough. I'm eating way too much camembert. It's going to ruin my figure. But as the French philosopher Albert Camus said, freedom is nothing but a chance to be better, and I wanted my freedom. Well, Miss Good, if you kill to get your chance to be better, you won't have that chance for long. All of a sudden, she's in the running. Examine the clothes on sale now. Torn paper. What did you find in the clothing bin from the boutique? Anything good? I guess not, since you just showed me a mess of torn paper. Only joking. Hey, maybe you could do that puzzle trick you did before, Matthew. Haven't seen Sheriff yet. I suspect I will, though. Perfect. Get out of here. Is that Princess Sophia on the magazine cover you pieced back together? She really was going to be a cover girl. She really was going to be a cover girl for Pretty Fair. Oh, snap. The cover calls her a royal mess. She must have not been too happy about that. We better go check in with Princess Sophia and see what's what. About the Pretty Fair cover. Princess Sophia, we found the cover for the next issue of Pretty Fair, and it's not pretty for you. It's awful. Annette never told me that she wanted to do a story about royal fashion failures. She thought I didn't have any style. Like she would know anything about style. Have you seen the silk scarves she's trying to sell through the department stores? I would have wrapped my camembert in one of those. When I saw the preview of the cover, I ripped it to shreds. I am so stressed about it, I even started smoking again. What will people think of me after this issue comes out? I'll be a laughingstock. My reputation will be ruined. Princess, if you killed Annette Samur for revenge, your whole life will be ruined. She doesn't know French lit, so for now she's clear. Man, Matthew, finding the person who beheaded Annette Samur might be harder than I thought, and we still have to find that dang manuscript. I didn't realize that Princess Sophia could get so riled up, but could she have killed Annette Samur over an article saying she had bad taste? And what about Grace Good? Would she have decapitated the victim to break free and start a career of her own? Marcel the Mime doesn't seem like the strongest suspect, but if he was willing to risk a lawsuit impersonating Annette Samur, who knows what else he might have done? That's my phone again. Carmen Martinez speaking. This is Jacqueline Proust. Please come quickly. I need your help. I will get the remaining stars from here first, and I'll see you guys for Chapter 3. Evening, everybody. It's time now for Chapter 3 of my second case in the World Edition of Criminal Case. So let's do it. So, Matthew, what have we learned about... Dang, my phone again. This better have something to do with the murder of Annette Samur. Carmen Martinez speaking. This is Jacqueline Proust. Come quickly. I need your help. What is it, Miss Proust? Are you in danger? Are you hurt? Not yet, but please come to the Louvre quickly. I'm running out of time. Ah, there you are, Sheriff Matthew. Thank goodness you're here. You have some nerve calling us up like that, Miss Proust. You were in no danger at all. I wasn't in danger, but my research certainly was. I'm being repressed, censored. There's a special item that I require for researching my next novel. I can't tell you about it, obviously. Spoilers. If only those Louvre idiots would have just let me borrow that decryption tool. Then I just need to get my hands on Annette's manuscript. Oops, did I just say that out loud? Yes, you did. So you're looking for Annette's manuscript too? Wait right here. We're going to have a proper chat with you. What do you say, Matthew? Should we grill Jacqueline Proust about the manuscript right away? Or should we let Miss Proust stew and take another look around the Louvre for more clues? Your call. Let's ask Jacqueline first, see what she has to say. Tell us everything you know about that manuscript, Miss Proust. Did you kill Annette Samur to get it? No, I would never do anything like that. I knew Annette had bought it in an auction, so I asked her over for red wine and camembert to see if she would let me use it for researching my next book. But that petty little woman wouldn't grant me access to the manuscript. Me! I mean, she knew who I was. Everyone knows who I am. Mr. Ten of Clubs. Right. I find your change of heart very interesting. When we first talked, you called Annette an inspiration. Well, she did inspire my next novel, and I borrowed the title from a French philosophy book, The Will to Know. But she was keeping me from writing my book by hogging that manuscript, and if I'm not writing, I'm smoking like a chimney. I bet you do know just where that manuscript is, Miss Proust, and it gives you a big motive for killing Annette Samur. We're watching you like a hawk. She's in the running now. Research. Even if Jacqueline Proust didn't kill Annette Samur, and that's a big if, we have got to keep an eye on her. And get our hands on that manuscript before she does. Who knows what she might be planning to do with it. Now let's investigate the fountain. I managed to make it up to 6th in this crime scene right here, the cafe table. Torn silk, spider web, tickets, banana, pocket watch, and locked smartphone. Not my best first score, but hey, I'm still learning the ropes. So what did you find, Matthew? That torn red fabric looks like silk. Go ahead and piece it back together. And you found a smartphone? Why are people so careless with such important stuff? But you're right, that phone's probably holding important information. Think you can unlock it? We better wrap up this case soon, Matthew. We still have to track down that manuscript, and who knows where that thing could be now. I've got a few more stars, I'll be back. Okay, I got a few stars, what's a 19? I'll take the torn, let's examine the torn silk now. So that torn silk is a scarf. Wait a minute, that bob haircut, those sunglasses, that's Annette Samour. Someone ripped her likeness to shreds. And there's white oily stuff all over the scarf. Let's grab a sample. Wow, that was lucky. They were right under each other. I don't think you often see that. Got a sample of that white stuff from the victim's scarf? Let's rush it to Lars. The sooner we know, the sooner we catch the killer. Okay, 9 hours. I'll get it in the morning. Now let's examine the smartphone. GYB, yep. And oh no. RN8, yep. And it's Annette Samour's phone. Dang, Matthew, you unlocked that smartphone you found at the Louvre Gardens like you were on fire. Look at the unlock screen. That's the cover of Pretty Fair. This must be Annette Samour's phone. Let's look at the recent text messages. There's a message from Constantine Perrier. It says, "Cela se fait, Samour, c'est fini." I don't know what that means, but we have no time to play guessing games. Let's go grill Constantine Perrier about this text message. About a text message to the victim. So, Mr. Perrier, help me out here. My French isn't great. You sent this text message to the victim. Cela se fait, Samour, c'est fini. Yes, I was telling her that I had had enough and that the photo shoot was over. I mean, she brought a guillotine into Versailles. Sacre bleu, how could she? As the French philosopher Blaise Pascal said, the only shame is to have none, and Annette Samour had no shame. On top of that, she and that photographer were having these huge arguments. I was worried they'd break something, and in the end, look what happened, a murder. Versailles is a national treasure. I could not have some kind of rock and roll circus happening in the Hall of Mirrors. All I want to understand is just how far you went to stop Mr. Moore's shenanigans, Mr. Perrier. You better clear your schedule. We're not done with you yet. Now he's in the running. I'll let the white substance run its course and I'll get it in the morning. So for now, this is Matthew. See you then. Good morning, folks. It's Matthew. We're back. Let's get the results of the white substance. Hey, Matthew, the white substance you collected from that scarf was some pretty slick stuff thanks to the petrolatum in it, but I nailed it down. Cut to the chase, Lars. We don't have time for corny jokes. Got it. In addition to the petrolatum, there was also zinc oxide, which gave the substance its white tint. There was also beeswax, lanolin, and talc. If that sample sounds like makeup, that's because it is. It's clown white, and that's not exclusive to clowns. Mimes use it too. Mimes, huh? Like Marcel? Looks like we need to have a chat with Marcel the Mime about how his makeup got on Annette's torn up scarf.
Atmosphere in there and referred to by Dietrich Collins Parker as sort of a new era. Symbolic.
About the victim's torn silk scarf?
Even though things are up to a kind of rocky stuff here in 2015 as Nicky Taylor gets the ace.
Not this again. Listen, fool. We found some of your makeup on a torn up scarf bearing Annette Simur's image. What's that about? Fine, but you know what the French philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre said? Words are loaded pistols. That's why I prefer not to use them. Miss Simur came back through the gardens last night. She was sobbing and swearing. She kept repeating caveat emptor. Caveat emptor is Latin. It means buyer beware. Did she mention what she had purchased? She said she'd been tricked. She'd paid a lot of money for some old book that wasn't even complete. Part of a page was missing or something. Then she tore up her own scarf in a fit and ran off. I picked up the pieces and used it to clean off my makeup. You're a good listener, aren't you? Well, get used to using your words, Marcel. We may not be done with you yet. But he's clear for now. Well, Matthew, I'm getting antsy here. We're closer to finding Miss Simur's killer, but not close enough. Matthew, you have to get to the crime scene. The Versailles cleaning crew is about to start clearing everything away. If they touch a thing, I'll have the bureau to answer to. Matthew, we better get over to the Hall of Mirrors as fast as we can. Excuse me. Final crime scene. So let's get ready to rock and roll. Going with my inspiration, Ace Charming or Trevor Johnson, better known as you know him best as Pitching Ace 88 on YouTube. Oh gosh. Trying to reward those who battled so hard the last 2 days. I tell you, lockdown drag out in the gym, battling for spots. There we go. Not my best score, but hey. Ooh.
So how did you get this gold PS4?
So last week I ran into this guy, Dimitri Two Hands. He used to run with the mob. Anyway, his goons boosted some bullion from the camera vault. But the bars are marked, so they had to melt it.
Missed it by 200. Oh well.
Guys, and after dinero, people are tipping all sorts of stuff. That's how.
Really? Because I heard that you can only win it at Taco Bell.
Hey Matthew, is that a French philosophy book? We know the killer reads French philosophy. This is the killer's book. Looks like there's a coffee stain on it, but what are those little black things stuck in the coffee stain? The new vacuum kit should work to collect those, whatever they are. And is that the victim in that instant photo? Looks like she's in the guillotine from the crime scene. This must have been taken moments before she died. We found an instant camera here earlier, and a photo had been printed and deleted. This has got to be the photo the killer printed out. You're right. The killer wrote, "Say cheese." That's sick. But you're right, there's something more. Part of the photo didn't develop. Let's get your Justin kit out. We're definitely getting closer to solving this murder, Matthew. I have a hunch, and my hunches are never wrong.
Volleyball fans know a lot about volleyball here. Baseball fans know a lot about baseball.
Yeah,
examine the coffee stain.
It's the Kekioka'aina that are playing there. You become a part of the fabric, you become a part of the community, and that is something very unique to
Okay.
the dance.
It's intermission here in the stand. Sheriff Central. There you see the scores for White leading San Diego State 2-6-0. Hi everybody, Scott, Lisa, and Ryan.
Got it.
Look at the numbers.
Black fuzz.
And it is, I guess you say, but
Got a sample of those little black fuzzy things from the killer's book? Let's get them to Lars on the double.
It's a little tough when you're not challenged, really. They're not being challenged. They're serving very tough. Their passing is weak. The hitting percentage
15 hours.
is 187 as a team. But I don't feel like they're really pushing that hard. I agree with you, Scott. It just seems like a little bit of a lull in the game right now.
It's like
Examine the photo now.
that they need to do to get by. Of course, dominating Goshen, anytime you win 25-11, something is going right. One of the respect things is Olivia McGill. She's really continuing.
I think that's the fleur-de-lis.
That connection with the Southern team are making some
So you managed to retrieve an image from that instant photo of the victim. That's an interesting shape. I bet Elliot will be able to figure out exactly what it is. Let's go.
4 kills, hitting 500, yet to make an error so far this evening.
I think the biggest surprise was after set one. We looked at the stats and we saw Nikki Wheeler had 3 kills, but only on 4 swings. She only
9
had
hours.
4 swings in that opening set. She now has 12 for the match.
Well, Nikki
I'll let
Taylor
these both run their
started
courses, so for now, this is Matthew. See you then.
Awesome.
Hey folks, it is Matthew. We're back. Let's get the results of the strange symbol first. Except for the shape you wanted me to examine, this photo would make a great 80s heavy metal album cover, but the photo also gave information about the killer. The photo was pressed against an object during a crucial processing point, an object shaped like a fleur-de-lis. The image has been used as an emblem of the French monarchy since 750, or so Dupont insisted on telling me. I ran the object against our database and found a match to a luxury fleur-de-lis brooch from Montpoussin. Wait, so you're saying the killer is wearing a fleur-de-lis brooch? I'll file that in. We're so close to catching Annette Samur's killer now, I can almost taste it. And even though there's only 40 minutes left of this, I'm just going to speed it up because I'm not going to wait because it's getting pretty late. Those little black fuzzy things that were stuck to the killer's book you found at the crime scene come from a sheep, Matthew. Oh gosh. Got another energy, thanks. Can you believe that? A sheep, but not just any sheep. The Lhasa sheep from the Basque country. White wool from this sheep is dyed black and felted to make black berets. So let's think this through. The killer is reading that French philosophy book. They left their black beret on it, not realizing that felt from the beret would get stuck in the coffee stain. So the killer was a black beret. Nice catch, Matthew. We're closer than ever to catching this killer. You really live up to your reputation, Matthew. Looks like we have enough to arrest Annette Samur's killer. Let's do it. It's not Grace Good. It's not Sophia Girona. It's not Jacqueline Proust. It's not Marcel Robin. It's Constantine Perrier, the castle supervisor. Constantine Perrier, Sheriff Matthew is arresting you for the murder of Annette Samur. That's absurd. I told you I wasn't there. I only found out about Miss Samur's demise at lunch. A lunch where you ate camembert. How much of that stinky cheese do you eat, Mr. Perrier? And do you ever wash your hands? You left some of it on the blade of the murder weapon. That is nonsense. I wouldn't go near a guillotine. S'il vous plaît, do I look that foolish to you? Foolish? I don't know, but you sure are sloppy. You also left behind a photo of the victim in the guillotine. The photographer probably took that photo. She hated Miss Simur's guts, you know. Don't try to pin this on an innocent person. The photographer doesn't wear a luxury fleur-de-lis brooch, Mr. Perrier, but you do. Oui, fine, I did kill Annette Simur, but I only did it for the money. It was my turn to live like a king. Do you know what it's like to be surrounded by such wealth day after day and be looking at a pittance for retirement? So when they offered me money to kill Annette Simur and steal the manuscript from her, I didn't hesitate. They offered you money? Who are they? If I told you, they'd kill me. And these people have the manuscript? I don't know. I never gave it to anyone. After the murder, I panicked. I don't remember where I left it. You better remember soon. In the meantime, you're under arrest for the murder of Annette Simur. Constantine Perrier, you are on trial for the murder of Annette Simur by guillotine. That's the first time France has used the guillotine since September 1977, though this was hardly an official execution. I didn't intend to use the guillotine, Your Honor, but there it was, so I took advantage. I needed to kill her. Since you're such a fan of French philosophy, I'll throw some Camus at you. No cause justifies the deaths of innocent people. Constantine Perrier, this court hereby sentences you to 25 years in prison. 25 years? Please have pity on this poor pensioner. Man, Matthew, I'm impressed. Good job catching the killer. Constantine Perrier's greed drove him to kill, but he'll pay a hell of a price. But the situation is getting more complicated by the minute. Someone used Perrier's greed to their advantage to get that manuscript. Part of the manuscript was already used as a threat to make sure Prince Albert was killed. Then they hired someone to kill the person who bought the rest of the manuscript at auction. Who knows what they might do once they have their hands on it? We've got to find it before they do. So now he's in the prisoner's uniform. Grace Goob almost made the cut. She doesn't wear a fleur-de-lis brooch. Sophia Girona doesn't read French philosophy nor wear a black beret. Jacqueline Proust nearly made the cut, but she doesn't wear a black beret. Marcel Robin was clear from the beginning. It was Constantine Perrier. So for now, this is Matthew. See you for the AI. Hi folks, it's Matthew. We're back. Let's go to Europe in Crisis 2. Matthew, we need to find the manuscript Constantine Perrier stole from Annette. We know that whoever threatened Enid Grimshaw into killing Prince Albert used a torn page from this manuscript. They also paid Constantine to kill Annette so they could get their hands on the full book. We need to figure out who they are and put a stop to whatever they're planning, or more people could die. I agree, we should interrogate Constantine again. Maybe spending a few hours in jail will have made him talkative. Matthew, a second of your time. We've received a call that someone has been lurking around the Hall of Mirrors. What if they were also looking for the manuscript? We better go back to Versailles, Matthew. I'll drive. I'm gonna get the Hall of Mirrors out of the way first. Clock, tin cans, goose. Ugh. Sun, hand fan, armor. Oh, the broken wine glass. Okay. Okay, this is not going to be one of my best scores, but I'm still good in this. I'm still good in the running, so I don't think it matters. I'm already up to 6. This is the farthest I can go. So, is there anything out of the ordinary in the Hall of Mirrors, Matthew? A cigarette case? What's that orange goo on it? You better get a sample. Now let's examine the cigarette case. There we are. Great, you got a sample of that orange goo from the cigarette case you found in the Hall of Mirrors. Lars will want to look at that. Let's see, 6 hours. About the whereabouts of the manuscripts, let's find out what Constantine Perrier has to say. Mr. Perrier, now that you've had a chance to get your wits about you, are you ready to talk? Where's that manuscript you stole from Annette's cold body? I told you I don't remember. What's the brouhaha anyway? It's just an old book. It looked like a silly stage prop. You seriously think you would be asked to kill someone over a silly stage prop? Think! What did you do after the murder? It's a blur. Wait, there were flowers. Yes, I remember hiding the manuscript somewhere near the Louvre, in the gardens, but I can't remember the exact spot. Sheriff Matthew is right. We need to stop wasting time with this killer and get to the Louvre Gardens. Let's investigate the Louvre Gardens. My inspiration, H. Charming, aka Trevor. I know he's a district ahead of me, but I also know he's also doing some elite mode cases in Grimsboro, so props to him. Oh, there's a wheelbarrow. I'm with you, Matthew. Perrier is faking his panic. We know he's a calculating killer. He would have hidden that manuscript where no one would want to look. That wheelbarrow's full of nasty dead leaves. I'm learning to trust your instincts. If you think the manuscript is in there, dig in. Examine the wheelbarrow now. And I see it. Perfect. Promethean manuscript. You found it! That book you found in the wheelbarrow looks like the manuscript everyone's been looking for. The symbol on the front matches the symbol on the torn page you found in London. I saw it in the evidence room. I hope you can crack the lot, Matthew. We'll finally see the inside of this mysterious manuscript. EB9 and G7Q. Ah, missed the 9. I'm amazed, Matthew. You got the manuscript unlocked and you didn't even damage it. But I can't read what's written in this thing. Let's send it to DuPont. I can't wait to know what's so important about this manuscript people keep killing for. 9 hours. I'm gonna let these two run their courses. So for now, this is Matthew. I'll get the results tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, excuse me, after I get home from my school. Okay, folks, it's Matthew. We're back. Let's get the results of the orange substance right now. Got the answer you need, Matthew. Rock star that I am. Spit it out, Lars. That sample of orange goo you found on the cigarette case was hypoclearing agent. Photographers use the agent in darkrooms to cut down the wash time for the film. Photographers, huh? Want to hazard a guess that the cigarette case belongs to Grace Good, Matthew? Let's go talk to her. What Grace is doing on the crime scene? Miss Good, we found your cigarette case and we're curious about what you're still doing lurking around the crime scene. Please, I wasn't lurking around. I was preparing for another photo shoot. Someone offered me $100,000 to photograph them. This could launch my career now that Annette's gone. Somebody hired you? Who was it? Did they contact you directly? They slipped me a note when I was buying Annette's coffee. I didn't see who because she was barking at me to hurry up. There was no name. I must have left the note somewhere near the boutique. Matthew, you think we should look into this? Sorry, but $100,000 is a bit too generous not to be hiding something. Let's go have a look around the boutique, see if we can find this note. Wait, before you go, Sheriff Matthew, please take a little something chic to wear. You cannot go through Paris dressed as you are. No offense. Oh, I got another card. Oh, I see that note. Corresponds to the message Grace says she received. Miss Good, I need you for my next photo shoot. I will pay you $100,000. And you're right, it was signed. It's just that the signature was washed away. Better get your Justin kit out to see who sent it to her, Matthew.
Until Alexis just pianly while she gagged and cried.
I don't know where he would get
Ready to
that.
stand in the corner.
Dated note. Examine it. Princess Sophia of Girona.
I have 4 children.
So what does the whole note say? Miss Good, I need you for my next photo shoot. I will pay you $100,000. Yours sincerely, and it's signed by Sophia of Girona. I'm curious, why would Princess Sophia be ready to pay so much for a photo shoot? Let's go ask her, Matthew. Moment, guys. Okay. Question Sophia about a request for a photo shoot. You want to know why I was ready to pay a fortune for a photo shoot? I'm launching my political career. I'm going to run as head of the right-wing faction in Spain. Politics? I would have expected something different from royalty. Typical left-wing assumption. You people think that royalty does nothing but live off taxpayer money, but that's not me. It's time someone pulled Europe out of its crisis, and with me leading the right-wing faction, all Europe's problems would be solved. So you decided to hire Grace Good for an official photo shoot in the Versailles Palace? Yes, well, I've had a closer look at her work and I've changed my mind. It's far too avant-garde for my campaign. You can take the money I was going to pay her, Sheriff Matthew. Give it to your widows and orphans fund or whatever. unlocked manuscript results now.
Just examine Katie.
My dear Matthew, you have indeed found the manuscript from which that page was torn, and what a beauty it is. However, I was surprised to find modern markings within the manuscript, even though the Prometheans cult ended centuries ago. Wait, the Prometheans? Is that what the P on the cover corresponds to? Yes, they're an ancient cult that was believed to engage in human sacrifice. Human sacrifice? Do you think the Prometheans could have orchestrated the murders of Prince Albert and Annette Samour? What about those modern markings you mentioned? Can you decipher them, DuPont? Ah, malheureusement. I do not have the tool required to uncover their meaning. Hey, Matthew's right. We need to talk to Jacqueline Proust. She mentioned a decryption tool earlier. She knew the manuscript was coded.
You understand the difference between truth? If you told us about something
Decryption tool?
truth,
Miss Proust, you said you would need a decryption tool from the Louvre to decipher the manuscript, didn't you? We can help, but you'll need to share your findings with us. Wait, does that mean you have found the manuscript? Let me see it. And we don't need the Louvre. I memorized their decryption tool and made one myself from cardboard. Now let me have the book. Thanks. There are the markings. Look, there's a date. Let's see. That's tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Is something going to happen? I can't tell. Some of the words are missing, but there's a place mentioned. Germany. Think you could narrow it down to a city? Germany's not exactly Liechtenstein. I can't be any more specific, but if you leave the manuscript with me, I can keep working on it. This manuscript is a piece of evidence from the murder investigations of 2 people so far. We're not leaving it with you. Then let me make a copy of it. I promise I will share my findings with you, Sheriff Matthew. You're sure we can trust her, Matthew? I wouldn't if I were you, but you're the boss. I guess we'll be out to Germany next, but before we go anywhere, I need some food. All this decryption drama made me hungry. I can't believe Sophia Girona wants to get into the right-wing politics to save Europe, Matthew. Can royalty even run for office? Yes, but this is of no immediate concern to us. Matthew, congratulations on finding the Prometheans manuscript. It looks like this ancient cult is still going strong today, if the recent murders are any indication. Yeah, and according to Jacqueline Proust, something's about to happen in Germany next. This makes sense. Oktoberfest starts tomorrow. Our informants have told us that festivities in the town of Bierberg could be a target. Think about it. Oktoberfest is an institution and large crowds gather every year to celebrate. It will be a prime target for the Prometheans, a way for them to show the world that they can strike it anywhere at any time. Pack your lederhosen and beer steins, Matthew, and get ready to stop a catastrophe in the making.
standard procedure does not require police to record interviews with witnesses.
Well, how convenient. So, if you make a mistake, no one will hear it.
I didn't make a mistake.
In general, when a child is injured, who's your first suspect?
Looks like I have the pet shop unlocked.
Depends on the circumstances.
Ah, come on, detective. Isn't it true you look to the parents before anyone else?
When the situation warrants it, yes.
Are you out to get Karen Campbell?
Of course not.
Didn't you tell my client that if you had anything to do with it, she'd never see her kids again?
That's out of context.
Yes or no, detective?
Yes.
Unlock the next
Sounds
case.
like you had some pretty strong feelings about my client's guilt the
And I'll
moment.
see you guys for case
Her
3.
feelings